Hello everyone, Simon here. We are playing EVE Online once again. We are about 80% or more through the epic arc for the Sisters of Eve. So let us finish off this epic arc. There's 50 missions. 50 missions and we are kind of almost done. We have a boss fight near the end. Let me just check what my skills are. So I bought marketing, infomorph psychology. I also bought the weapon something upgrades thing. Anyway, so I bought a few skills as I talked about last time. So now let me just close that and then move on with the next mission. A stranger's face. Your anger is understandable, but we've got more reason to cooperate than to quarrel. Alright, so in the last mission they were saying that the Sisters of Eve already knew that the guy we were after belonged to the Society of Conscious Thought and they weren't telling me. Dagon's your real enemy. You'll be interested to know that some of his corp mates have been spotted at a nearby station. We have prepared an agent to gain their confidence and extract information on their further operations. To you she'll be Tahaki Karen, a ship's engineer from the Damsel. Before our operative can infiltrate Dagon's group, Karen's identity records will need to be altered. Take these records to an archive station. Once they're updated there, our friends will make sure they're changed throughout the entire network. Okay, sure. We're going there. A courier mission. 4 systems away. I mean, that's the game. So, what are the missions we've done so far? What kinds of missions have we done so far in this epic arc, right? There's the courier mission, which is the one we're doing now. We go to a place, pick a thing up, go to a different place. There's the combat missions. You fly to a place, kill a bunch of stuff, salvage them if you want, and I do want to salvage them. And then there's the flying around, go from one place to another. That's about it. You're either flying around breaking things, flying around delivering things, or just flying around. I don't know. I mean, the Eve is a sandbox. Everybody says Eve is a sandbox. You can do whatever you want. But everything revolves around flying around and shooting at things. That's really it. Well, there are other things. There's like, you can manufacture things, but the stuff you manufacture is designed to shoot at things. Like you manufacture ships and weapons. So if you want to build stuff, you can spend your time doing industry, right? There's planetary infrastructure. There's like a separate mechanic where you can like build a base at a planet, and that would create resources that you can then sell for money, and some of those resources are used to build big ships. So it's just kind of, it's like mining but different. And I guess it's, you know, I keep saying that maybe mining will be better with a minigame, and the planetary infrastructure is like a bit of a minigame for resources, so in a way it's like that. But even that is it's quite slow. So it's in a way it's passive income, because once you set up your planetary infrastructure, it will just keep producing more and more resources for you. And then to make money, you just have to transport the resources off the planet every now and then. Yeah. So it's not that profitable, but then you don't have to spend much time on it, so it's like free money in a way once you set it up, although it does take a long time to set up. What else is there in the game? I think I've decided that the most interesting thing to do is exploration. So scan for data sites and relic sites, and then hack the boxes. I think that's the most interesting because they're mini-games. Like the scanning is a sort of a mini-game, and then the hacking is also a sort of a mini-game. Although having said that, I am still, you know, like the fact that you can mine asteroids without really paying any attention, allowing you to do other stuff while you mine asteroids. I mean, that's got certain advantages, like if you are really doing something else, and you just kind of AFK and mine asteroids, that's okay. It's not bad. I'm just wondering if I should AFK mine asteroids more. There's always the risk of getting blown up, but whoever blows you up will lose their ships to Concord.
Warp drive active.
And they have to destroy you before Concord destroys them. I think if you're in a 1.0 security system, so the maximum security system, I think you're pretty much safe. And you can just AFK mine asteroids. So the way it works is, I think it's for every security increment, it takes 1 second longer for Concord to respawn. So if you're at 0.7, it takes 3 seconds for Concord to respawn. I think that's to respond. I think that's what that's what it means. Excellent work, request mission. Alright, and then we fly back for the next mission. That's the mission. You fly from point A to point B. Alright, let me just oh, look! Another very special mission. That's interesting. I should look at that. 1, 2, 3. Alright, there's 5 more missions there. What is this one, and where do I want to do it? Hold on, I have a very special mission. I should look at people and places. Not contact, agents, places, not agents. No, journal, that's right. Journals, missions offered. Important storyline courier mission. Let me just read details. Transport cargo from there to there. Limited neural boost. I should probably put these things in. I mean, they're not worth very much. So show info, like it gives you +1 willpower modifier. And they're only worth... well, they're worth $1 million. Maybe they are worth quite a bit. But they're not worth that much. So I might just use the implants actually. Alright, let me go do this immediately. How do I set destination? Alright, let's do that.
Warp drive active.
So we're gonna take a short break from our... Can I set it now? I'm gonna take a short break from the epic arc and do this. I have a special job for you because of your good standing and the fact you have successfully completed a number of missions for the Servant Sisters of Eve. We have decided you are worth the trust of a very important courier job. It entails bringing a large cargo of transaction and salary logs to this station from Ash Holcon 12, Moon 2, where they have been stored for the last few weeks for a routine inspection by the authorities. This data holds information of sensitive nature on our recent business dealings, earnings and expenses and wages. That we pay our staff members. Under no circumstances may any of these reports be lost or worse yet fall into the wrong hands. Pirates have a tendency to want information so they can sell it to our rivals. They used to have easy access to this information by hacking our transmission cores, but now that we send these reports via freight, this is no longer a serious problem. Okay, well that's just a big long explanation for... oh, I have to pay collateral? Alright, I have to go talk to him in person. Set
I
this
cannot
to
set a
the
waypoint to the same
effective
destination
standing
twice.
1.6. Let me just check these guys. Yeah, so I should probably use my implants. I'm not carrying any, am I? Not carrying any. I've got a few of them in storage back in the ESA. I'll put them in. The thing is, if you die, you lose the implants. So if I put on like 5 implants and I die, I lose maybe like 5 million worth of stuff. But the stats does slightly improve the rate at which you train your skills. So for example, this is anyway, it doesn't really matter. Let me just go check the Sisters of Eve. Servant of the Sisters. Seven Sisters of Eve. Show info. Standings. They're negative with Caldari State. They're negative with the Amar Empire, significantly negative with the Amar Empire, that kinda sucks. Negative with the Amata Mandate.
Warp drive
Negative with the Kanet Empire. Negative with the Syndicate. Negative with the Angel Cartel. Negative with the Thukka tribe. Thukka? Thukkes. Thukka? Thukka? Negative with Serpentis. So I'm gonna lose, if I do this one, I lose standings with, mostly I'm concerned about losing standings with Amar and Caldari, right? So according to the game, Amar and Caldari are allied, and Galante and Minmata are allied, and they are at war with each other. So that's why the Caldari and the Amar don't like the Galante and the Minmata. That's the backstory anyway. So let's do that. Caldari State, we are at 0.68 before skills. And then the Amar, we are at 0.3 before skills. So we can check the show transactions. Derived modification. Right. Derived modification means that, so I was doing, so here, let me just show you that. So I did the tutorial for the Caldari, and because the Caldari and the Amar are allied, raising standings with the Caldari also raises standings with Amar. And then I did some quests for the Minmata, and because they're enemies, doing quests for the Minmata lowers your standings with the Amar. But the lowering is less than the increase. So if you just kind of cycle through the 4 main empires, doing quests for all of them in turn, eventually you will raise your standings above 5. But the higher your standing is, the more difficult it is to gain, and the easier it is to lose standing. So you can't get past a certain level doing that. Alright, so let's accept this. And then we pick it up from there. It's a delivery mission. You just fly 2 systems away, put something in your inventory, fly 2 systems back, and you get money and an implant. That's the game. That's this game. This game. You know what I mean? It's just I mean, these missions aren't that clever. They're not that clever, they're not that fun, they're not that interesting. Just flying back and forth. Delivery mission. That's literally what it is. And like, if you're delivering things in the real world, maybe you have to drive a car, and driving is not trivial. Maybe you... So, but this is autopilot, right? So imagine you're in a self-driving car, and your job is to deliver stuff. You don't even have to drive, the car just drives itself. But you have to be there to hand over the package. So you just spend hours and hours and hours sitting in your car, in the car that drives itself. And that's your job. Your job is to sit in that car for hours and hours and hours. But if that's your job, and it pays your bills, and it puts food on the table, I mean, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll just get a... not showing, but I'll just get a book to read, or just kind of play games on my phone, or whatever it is, for hours and hours. That's fine. Like, I'm willing to do that. To deliver parcels in a self-driving car, I'm willing to do that. If it pays, right? If I get money in the end. But in the game, you get fictional credits if you pay money to play this game, if you pay a monthly subscription to basically deliver parcels in a self-driving spaceship. You're losing money to do this. There's no way you can justify this. I don't know how EVE Online justifies their business. Well, it's the PvP, right? They don't justify it by these missions. If you're just playing these missions, there's no way people are gonna play the game. It is only justifiable if you're the sort of person who enjoys blowing up other people. You're willing to pay a monthly subscription to participate in fleet battles. That's the only reason. Which I'm not. But some people are, you know? Some people, not only do they pay a monthly subscription, but they would buy a Plex and then sell the Plex for credits and then use those credits to buy a fancy ship and then get it blown up. So some people are so into this PvP combat that they would spend extra money to buy a Plex and exchange the Plex for credits and exchange those credits for ships. I mean, that's why there are Plexes in the market, right? So if you look at the market, pilot licenses. So selling, look at this. 6, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 26. 26 Plexes. Just in this region, 26 people are currently wanting to exchange real money for in-game credits. And yeah. Exchange real money for in-game credits, exchange those credits for whatever, probably ships, and then use those ships to blow each other up. So some people are willing to do that, whereas I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm wrong. It's just, it's just differences in opinions about what you want to do with your time and money, right?
Docking request accepted.
It's like some people play Hearthstone and they pay money to buy packs, and I don't. Alright, complete mission. I'm grateful for your assistance. I'm grateful for your grateful. Okay, let me go back to her. Is it? Who are we talking to next? Crap. Epic journal. Stranger's face. Who am I? Talk to her. Sounds good, please drop by. We can formalize the mission contract at that station. So you'll notice that our effective standings with her is up to 6.4. So having done all these missions for her, our standings have increased to 6.4 already. Not that it matters with her. So that's just her personal standings. our standings with the Sisters of Eve. Let me see. So,
Drive active.
Sisters of Eve 0.13. Show transaction. So doing that gave us mission completed. Gave us 0.69% increase with the Sisters of Eve, and that show transactions 0. Is that this one? That's this one, right? Yeah. So that reduced our Kaldari faction standing by negative 0.0112. So the increase is much bigger than the decrease there, as you can see. And we look at the Amar Empire show transactions, decreased by 0.0432. So it went up by 0.6, was it? Show transactions went up by 0.7 almost, and it went down by 0.04. So the increase is significantly bigger than the decrease, especially for the stuff we care about. We probably also lost standings with some of the pirates. Don't want to show info. Show transactions. So yeah, we lost standing 0.06, but these guys are like, we don't really care about these guys. The other guys. So when you're near neutral, your increases is much bigger than your decreases. So in general, we want to do this, except we need to keep in mind that we don't want to. We have to make sure we don't get a mission where we shoot down the ships of other empires, and we have to make sure that we balance it out by doing a lot of different quests. And that's the other thing too. So with the missions, the combat missions are more interesting than the delivery missions, right? But the combat missions are they're more likely to put you in a situation where they want you to blow up ships from other factions. And if you blow up the ships from other factions, then you lose standings with them. So if you're doing missions to gain standings, then those are counterproductive because the standings you lose are much more than the standings you gain. So you are penalized for doing the fun stuff. Right? Like the combat stuff is more fun, but you're penalized for losing, like you lose standings if you do those. So you kind of have to do the boring stuff, the delivery missions, the mining missions. These ones, you don't have to blow up other people's ships. Like you don't have to blow up other empires' ships, and therefore you don't lose standings from that. But then they're boring. Like either you're shooting lasers at a space rock, or you're just flying from system to system. So they're like the most boring part. So the most rewarding stuff is also the most boring stuff. Most rewarding in terms of in-game rewards is the most punishing in terms of your experience of the game because it's boring.